Okay, I messed that up a little bit. Thought I had it on pause and it was playing while I'm moving around and opening the door. So my first scene was messed up. Here we go. We're going to jack it up, put it on ramps in the front, jack stands in the back. You know, you got to twist this handle till it stops. That way it'll jack up. I'm going to go get a block. Okay, maybe I'll get two blocks. And another block. Wish they were bigger. Something about that makes me feel a little sketchy. What I need to do is probably put a block on there so I can get just a little more height. My jack don't go up as high as it used to. Probably time for a new one, right? And you might be wondering why I don't drive up on these. They usually don't work out too good for me unless there's something on the ground keeps this from sliding. It drives me crazy. I can back down off of them, no fine, no problem. But I do not like to drive up on them. If it was a longer ramp, if it was longer, it would be a lot easier. Look at that. All right, there's one. That's what you do when you don't have one of those fancy lifts. And worse than this, do it on gravel or do it on dirt. Yeah. Hot Rod Guy's Garage just reminded me in a video 2 or 3 days ago we got 100 days before No Name Nationals. So I thought, I better get busy. I gotta service this, get it to pass tag, I gotta service the trailer, and I gotta find a truck to haul it. Well, I do know where these are. These are pretty heavy, angle iron, pretty thick pipe. It's not that cheap sheet metal stuff they make things out of today. And I don't know how old these are. My father-in-law gave them to me and I said, yeah, I can use them. So we'll use them right now. Better get this set down, then I'll take you guys underneath. We'll check the drive shaft, see if there's play in that universal joint. Let you see here. I got it sitting. I usually used to mount directly under the spring, but you can see there's a big yellow contraption on both sides, keeping me from doing that. That's a 49" from a Fairlane. 67, 8, something like that. And so you can tell, I don't know if you can see this side, here we go. See all this stuff? This is oil. This is how the oil gets dispersed under here. Had this drive shaft made, and I may have had it made just a hair long, because there's only like 5/8 of an inch of throw there before it squishes that boot. So I don't know if I get too close with this, because it'll wipe this seal here out. It'll wipe this boot out. It may not wipe out the seal. Who knows? It might rip the whole thing out. There's not too many structural issues with this, other than I'm running too much horsepower in an old car. So let's get under here. Let me see if I can. Let's get an eyeball on this. Huh. Do y'all see any play in that? I'm not seeing play. Is my front one got play? Let's look at it. Let's look at the front one. I am upside down. Sorry about that, y'all. Well, so I got it in gear right now. I really need to pop it out of gear, but with it in gear, it's not going to let the yoke move too much. So I wonder what that clunking was. I mean, is it just this? Can you guys hear that? That might just be play all the way back at the pinion. It might just be play at the pinion, which I do have. I don't know if that's excessive or not, but boy, it sounded harsh the other day when I went to drive this thing. Let's see, right here we got a drip. Let's see what color that is. Wow, can't even smell that. I think that's transmission fluid, which is not good. Some of you might recognize this as a T5. That's what it is. Come out of an 88 Mustang GT. Now this is the handiest little. I like this tube mount that I bought. That side right there I had to cut off short and put it back in there because this would not swing up into place. It would not let the bolts over here go in. So I just had to cut it off, find the angle, and then make a little pie cut out of it, cut it off, mount everything into place, put a jack under here, I tacked that real good and took it out and welded it and put it back in. Let's see. There's some drips at the bell housing up there. Let's scooch up there. Because we are looking for oil leaks, but we're mainly looking for sources. Now this, oh gosh, the light is all wrong down here. That's oil. Pretty sure that's just oil. There's more drips on this. This is my hydraulic clutch line. I need to figure out how to see down inside that bell housing, because that might tell me a story. I'm just hoping that it's oil coming from the top of the motor or the valve covers, which I don't think you can see that well up in there, but there's part of the back of the motor. Oh, there it is. Right there's back of the head. I'm hoping it's just oil coming from up there, because I can work on that a lot easier. Well, let's see what we got up here. This is hard to do. I can't see much down in there. There's a bunch of wires, a bunch of junk in my way. It's really hard to tell where my leak is. I'm gonna stick the camera way down in here in a second. See if I can't film. Oh, I see stuff right there already. There's oil on the top of those wires. There's some oil residue down in there. I think you can see that gunk. Which means I'm kicking something up somewhere. Back of the motor. There's a port right there I'm going to use for oil pressure. But I don't see a puddle of oil there. Do you guys? I don't see a puddle of oil. Now, I did have an issue up here. Let's just show you this. Yeah. So I put that thin piece of aluminum right there and epoxied it to the top of this valve cover, and it seems to really work better. Right down here, the front of this looks dry. Those bolts are dry, the head surface is dry. On the back, I don't know if you can see the back of that valve cover or not, but we'll get you into place. You see that kind of sweaty? There's grime buildup. If you can see the little Allen head bolt, it's got grime and junk all around it. So we're going to work on these valve covers. See, the front of this one looks nice and dry, but I bet the back is wet. It's dry down through there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's pretty dry. Yeah. Now this one is clearly coming out of where that cap is on there. This one's clearly pouring oil out this side. Well, for now, that's about it. I'm going to decide what to do here now. Overnight, probably. I've got to find my hardware for this stuff. I got to dig the glass out too, so... Well, that's it for now. That's a wrap for tonight. Good morning, Jasmine. And Jiminy. He's waiting to bump noses. He's checking out the camera, huh? You silly cat. There's the third one. This is Sandy. What you doing, Sandy? Huh? Who vomited on there? Golly. Hairball. This is what I'm thinking about doing today, and then addressing the oil coming out of the valve covers. I got new gaskets. I think I'll try working on that, but yeah, this is my morning face. Beautiful hair. I gotta get these things off because they're no good to me right now. Whew. So, what do you think? Cam adjustment or find the screws and stuff to mount the vent windows in? I don't know. Gotta get some work done in the early day because it's gonna get hot out here, and when it gets hot I get miserable and terribly tired, exhausted. I'm just not as young as I used to be. Be back in a little bit, guys. And look, there's my coffee. So I guess we'll be working in here today. I don't know. I think I'm gonna start getting stuff out of my way. Let's start with this thing. Oh, I got a big old tube attached to the other side. Yeah, let's see if we can get this apart. I think we might take this battery out right now too. I like to use the deep cycle batteries. I use that terminal so I can put it on the deep cycle post and hand tighten the nut, and then give this a little twist and it locks it in, and then I just twist it back to get it off. And of course my negative, just a normal one, I push it on there. Okay, I'm gonna get this out of my way. So I think most of my oil is still coming out here. I tried to explain this in the last segment or previously, and didn't do a very good job. So let's see if you can see this. I epoxied the bottom of the breather here because this crimp wasn't good enough. It was letting oil drip out all around there. It still may be doing that a little bit. And on the valve cover, let's see, I epoxied an aluminum ring down on here. And I said it was because these tabs were too short. And that's not the case. What it was this gasket surface, the gap where these fit in, that gap was so wide it was out past the surface here on both sides. So it was just pumping oil out that way, you know, when it turned to, you know, droplet form or vapor, some people call it. So a lot of my oil issues really lie in these valve covers, and I wish I had some tall Morosos or something like that, but I don't have that kind of money, because even the cheap ones or used ones are very expensive. See if I can reach back and get this thing out. There we go. So I haven't done that fix on that valve cover, so I'm gonna have to do that. There's a little bit of issue here, but not much. But it just takes a little tiny gap for something to come out and oil to drain all over the place. Let's do plug wires next. Get those out of the way. Now, there's 3 fingers there, 2.5 there, almost 3.5 fingers distance here. So this engine looks like it's in the middle, but it's a little bit to the passenger side. That sounded good. That one didn't feel like it was really engaged all the way. That one, that came off easy. I usually have nothing but trouble out of spark plug wires. Now this one I can't hardly reach. There we go. Ooh, that one slid off way too easy. That's not good. That might be why my engine was shaking. Had some disengaged. Alright, you're loose, but you're not coming out. Let me get that last one. Let's just take the top piece loose. There it is. One of the things you can do, one of the things that's necessary for tech, to pass tech, is this right here. You see this spring? Well, there's 2 springs there. There's the second spring, and it is inside of the first spring. Plus you have your normal little spring over here, where my finger's pointing to the left of my fingernail there. That's the spring that's on the throttle shaft. So I don't know how many they count there, but I count 3 springs instead of 2. But at least I got these 2, because if that spring was broken, these 2 would help out a lot. And if one of those breaks, you got a secondary spring. There's the modification I made. And I think, pretty sure I did not do it on that one yet. That's just, that there's a leaker, and I gotta fix that. So I'll have to get that valve cover out and fix it. I'm gonna put you guys back on the stand here. Oh, 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 oh. Watch out for those hood pins. Oh, my elbows are very touchy. Okay, that don't work. I gotta get the right tool here. Caution hood pin. No, those aren't very tight. Well, we'll get them off. Now this right here is this is my loop for my heater core, which I don't have installed. I don't know if you can see it, but way back in there, there's two of those freeze plug repair plugs. I put them in the holes to keep the gases from the engine bay, keep them in the engine bay, not coming in to stink me out. Boy, my elbow hurts. I thumped that good. Now I can't touch it on anything. Oof. I think I need to put a big old something over this pin to keep me from hitting it with my elbow. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a significant amount of oil just from taking that screw out. So that tells me I gotta get those valve cover issues straightened out. And hopefully when that happens, hopefully the oil drip problem is gone. And I may swap that valve cover over to here and then work on this one and get that situation straightened out. That there. So it's on there pretty nice. I'm really pretty certain that it's these breather caps that are causing all the issues. Cat fuzz. That stuff's everywhere. Oh, she's on there good. That's good. I'm glad that's good and tight. Just kind of reassures me that the gaskets are good. Hear that change in sound is getting ready to break loose. There it goes. Come on. Oh, she broke. Now, if you can see that, she's quite sweaty back here, and it's all due to these holes actually just being way too big. So this model Scorpion is big block Ford and big block Chevy and Cleveland. So what we're going to do is get some feelers here in a little bit, and we're going to see what these are, ones that are still loose. We're going to see what they are lash measurement is. They're supposed to be 22 thousandths, and I think there's something pretty far north of that. I don't like this so much. That don't look so good to me. I don't. Yeah. Those definitely need to be tightened up. And we gotta inspect for any damage. The roller feels nice and smooth to my thumb. And I don't know about this. This is starting to get on my nerves. There we go. That'll hold it in place. I'm gonna bring you down into the engine bay here. See if it'll focus. It looks pretty smooth right there, which is a good sign. Glad to see that. There's just too much wiggle. That's why it's sounding like a sewing machine or whatever. That old terminology people use, which is supposed to have been a good thing, but to me, it makes too much noise. And I don't wrap this motor over 5400, so I'm not liable to do a lot of damage to it, but there's some of the magic that makes this engine work. That's your rocker ratio right there, 1.73. Well, that's it for now. I'm gonna pause and come back later. Oh, it's a new day. After I pulled that valve cover, I stuck it back on, just put a couple bolts to keep it from falling off, keep the cats from dancing on the stuff and getting oil on their feet. And of course they would make a mess out of everything. But for now we're gonna, oh yeah, I finally found a couple things. Couple of feeler gauges. Now this one here, I got it set up with, there's a 12 and an 8, that's 20, and there is a 4 thousandths and a 2 thousandths. Sounds like 26, right? So what I want to do is, I want to see if that gap is larger than 26. It's supposed to be 22. But we're going to get to check and see kind of what that lash has opened up to be. I'm pretty sure it's not 22 anymore. So let's get busy. Alright. Let's look at this. What did I say that was? 26, 8, 12, 4 and 2. That's 26. I'm going to flip under here and see what we got. Oh my. I'm losing a lot of horsepower there, folks. I'm losing my lower end grunt. It's actually pretty close. I'm going to see if I can go up 1,000th at a time. I mean, there's, it easily runs between. But I don't know, that's a little more encouraging than I was thinking to begin with. 15 and a 10 and a 3. That takes me to 28. So we're going up 2 thousandths. Let's just lock those together. Let's see what that feels like in there. Actually better move this down out of the way. Let's see if that'll go in. Okay, that will not go in. That's 9. Oh gosh, I was trying to put in 34,000. Let's try that again. Let's get this 6 out of the way. Let's try it again. That was a mess up. Now we're going for a true 28 here. 3, 15, and 10 is 28. Let's try that. Okay, there's 28. There's at least 28 there. So, okay, I'm starting to think. Alright, they're all way out. I'm definitely losing horsepower with that mess. Let's just see. 15 and 6 would be 21 and 3 would be 24. No, I need something. I need to make 30. That's what I need to make. We're just going to go by this one feeler here. Okay, there's an 8. 8 and 12. That's 20. And 10 would make 30. Let's go with that. Okay, 30 has a little tiny bit of drag. And I can't wiggle it, so I believe we're at 30 thousandths. We're 8 thousandths over. I'm pretty sure these, we're just gonna kind of figure that most of them are going to be 30 thousandths over. If I set them all at 22 and there's all even wear. Truth is, they've never been set since break-in, so here we go. Guy not doing his job. That'd be me. Alright, right here, got your necessary tools here for unlocking these. Okay, you can see the center's free. So I just actually tightened it a little. You want 22, so I'm gonna get off that 2-2 combination here as soon as this moves. So we got, I'm gonna clean them down here on the end where we're measuring. That way we're wiping the crud off of them. Now when I sandwich them, it should be true. Hey, maybe I didn't sandwich them last time. Okay, this needs to loosen up. And that needs to stay up here. Oh, you need 3 hands. Okay, we're under. Okay, I feel too much drag there. Too little. I'm pulling it in and out. In and out. That drag is pretty tight right there. I think that's the feeling I want to go for. So we put 1/8 of a turn on there maybe. If I can hold it in the same place. I'm going to go tighter. Okay, I can't make that move. Right there I can barely make it move. Right there it starts to turn. Real good. How do I know there's not a little bit of lift on here? I would have to go through my diagram, which I really need to bring up and look at. But that's simply how you set one. I can't say I'm happy with this. This side-to-side motion bugs me quite a bit. There's a guide here with chromoly one-piece push rods. I put most of my money in the top end of the motor. The bottom end is a stock, or SBE is what they put in there. And so I'm running a risk of getting dirty wrenches here. I'm going to lay these on this towel by themselves. So I'm not going to bore you with the rest of these. I'm going to move on and get that done, and we'll move to something else. All right, I have to remove my fan and then put bolts back to hold this belt assembly in place. My fan is about 3/4 of an inch from the inside of the radiator, so I'm going to protect it with this thing, protect the radiator. That's tight work. Well, looky there. I don't know if you can see that, but 5/16 fine thread. I'm going to put that in. That one bolt should keep it together and it'll stay aligned. Gotta find the center first. Alright. I found it. I think I'm going to put my cardboard back in. Plastic board. I don't want to screw up that radiator. I felt a little movement there. Alright, we're done with passenger side. We're going to move on to taking that valve cover off over there. And like I said earlier, I'm going to put that valve cover on this side. It's pretty well secure. I'm going to show you guys again. I'll show you again. So this surface here Let's compare. Let's compare. Oh, this is going to be hard to do. Hope you can see this. This surface here, you can see I've reduced the depth of that notch, this notch right here. This notch is so deep that you can see where my seal is touching there, but on the front side the seal is missing. So there's an open gap right there, and I have to remedy that on this head, or on this valve cover. I may have a friend weld this stuff in instead of the epoxy, but I don't know. The epoxy might help because it'll give me a little more thickness here, so when I crank it down it grabs better. Now I gotta run these valves, and when I'm done I'm gonna put that one valve cover over there, and I gotta work on this valve cover. It is 22 still, isn't it? Let's just see what number one. Oh, she's sloppy. I don't know how, because I'm not going to take time to figure that out. But I know there's just enough slop there. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to try to bump this one around. There, we give it a bump and drop the wrench. What a goober. Goober's really not an insult in my family. I got a cousin that played with cars all his life and still does, and they called him a goober. Yeah, that helped. Guys, I'm done battling the heat. We're done with that lash adjustment. And I'm going to slip the valve cover back on it, but I got to work on that later. Let me do that real quick while you're watching. These are just holding her in place so it don't fall out. Matter of fact, this one in the back ain't doing me any good because I can't even reach it. But we'll come back and visit that problem right there. So, I think this is all going to be its own video, maybe. It's quite lengthy. I hope you enjoyed it. I waited too late in the day to get out here and really work hard. The video started out early in the day, but something else happened, so That's what it is. I will catch you all in the next segment, and we'll figure out what else we're doing. So, take care. We'll see you guys later. And keep watching my videos, and stay tuned for a lot more. Bye-bye.